roads did not relent until I made it to the turn-off to the only accommodation on the entire road.
Hardest kilometres I've ever ridden. I'm still shattered. There's no option. You just have to keep going. It's Sesriem.
Another 12 kilometres of sand roads later off the side of the main road, I made it to this very expensive, exclusive resort where they were less than excited to see me. Yet the day was not over, as the campsite was still a further 4 kilometres back down another track. Well, I'd love to say I'm going to get to relax after easily the hardest day of the trip, but the winds tomorrow are going to be even worse. So I think I'll just get up at 4 o'clock and just try and ride out, beat it. So I'm not even going to put the tent up, I'm just going to put the ground tarp down, sleeping bag, get some shut-eye. The next morning I set off early, but the thought of the leopards and hyenas and the impassable depth of the sand made me turn back.
I'm stuck here because the sand is so deep that you can't cycle. So I made it here yesterday by pushing the bike for a lot of the day, but now I don't really know what to do because I am here on the map, which is a long way from me.
With really no other option but to get out there and try and beat the wind, I got back out onto the sand. Things were starting to look up until... Well, that was a good crash. Product of having to have your tyres down at almost no pressure and some really dusty deep roads. Managed to snap this whole thing off, the bit where the bag connects. Time for some roadside repair. Despite the obvious frustrations of the conditions, I had to admit I was in a pretty epic place. As you can see, we are very, very, very much in the middle of actually, no, that's not fair to the middle of nowhere. We're in fucking bumfuck nowhere. But I've come across this. These little love heart shaped, made from shells. I pushed on through the stunning and ever-changing scenery, and one of the few cars of the day spurred me on with a cold beer like a carrot on a stick. Must have worked because the kilometres began to roll by with ease until finally... Oh, that signifies the end of one of the most transformative experiences of my life. I've never been destroyed and rebuilt like that before. That was really, I don't know, it'd take a while to process, but now it's over, I'm grateful. Another 25 kilometres of solid sand down the road into the petrol station campsite of Beta, where I collapsed after a huge day. Spirits were lifted by a big bowl of oats and a gorgeous sunrise, and we were back on the road stomping out the K's. God, the flies out here are relentless. There are so many that even when I go into the aero bars, I squished one onto here. Epic. 96 more to Sesriem. We're doing 140 today. Don't know why on these roads. God almighty.
Yeah. Okay, and you?
Very well, thank you.
Are you the Australian guy?
Yeah.
Okay, heard of you.
All day had been leading towards finding out the weather conditions on this straight road and whether I'd be copping another straight headwind. Before I could get to that...
What area from? Sydney, yes. Can you believe it? Now what did
There is no overstating how bad these roads are. They're more corrugated than a favela skyline. The sand is so deep. And somehow, I'm constantly going uphill into a headwind. It's been like this for 500 kilometers. I'm done with these roads. But all the zesty teenage angst fell away as I rolled into Sesriem to be greeted by one of my best mates, Jack, who was on a bloody FaceTime call.
caught up over dinner and tucked ourselves in early, as tomorrow was going to provide the best that Namibia had to offer.
So this is Dune 45, which is supposedly only about a third of the size of Big Daddy that we're going to climb up in a minute, but it's the best place to come and watch the sunrise.
Oh, you didn't think we were going to walk all the way down?
You're not doing it properly!
Sunrise savoured, we boarded the buses to head over to Big Daddy, and boy were we in good hands.
Heading out now to Deadvlei, Big Daddy. As you can tell, it's pretty bumpy. So it begins up to Big Daddy. It is 360 meters tall, supposedly the highest dune in the world. Up in the distance there. It takes about an hour 45 supposedly to get up there, and then very short amount of time to run down. Here we are atop the tallest sand dune in the entire world, 360 meters from down below in the Deadvlei salt pan. This is the oldest desert in the world. This sand is supposedly 5 million years old.
Oh, and you better bloody believe that the boys clocked the 8th fastest time ever on Strava to descend Big Daddy. What awaited us below was somehow more awe-inspiring than Big Daddy.
So this is the meat and potatoes of Namibia. This is Deadvlei. So this area used to be connected to Sesriem, which is the river, and then due to the dunes movement, they move a lot, maybe more than 5 meters a year, some of them. The sand had cut off where the water runs in. This used to be full here, this is now salt pan. And these trees, 900 years ago died, so they're over 1,000 years old. They're not petrified, they're just bleached black by the sun, and they will stay like this due to the climate for a very long time, and they won't degrade.
To be standing at the centre of such an ancient wonder left us absolutely speechless and our hearts brimming as we went to bed on this memorable night.
All the best. We'll keep in touch.
I said my goodbyes not only to new friends, but also to the dirt as the tarmac rejoined me.
Ah, how good of a way is that to start the day, huh?
Just kidding, it lasted 2 kilometres before the gravel returned.
Oh, what's that? Groundhog Day? What? Headwinds? What? Deep sand? What? I'm not gonna let it get me down though. We'll get through, no worries. Just a few more K's of this. Thank you. I just went past my patron saint, the grader. Oh. We are in the big smoke of Solitaire, population probably 3, maybe 4, depends who's working. And yeah, this is one of the biggest towns, hundreds of kilometers. We've made it away from the Nabib Nakhluft Park, so the sand should probably subside, heading up a very big climb tomorrow. So let's see how that looks. The steepest section, probably of Africa, that I'm gonna ride is that way. Tomorrow morning, it's about 5 kilometers at like 18%. And it is the Spreadhoogte. Oh wow, that's not something you see every day in the desert.
But believe it or not, I didn't stop because camp was just around the corner, or so I thought.
Oh, just boosted 112 k's to get to Gecko Camp. Got to the gate. We are closed up to and including, and that date is tomorrow. Oh well, we go again. Looks like I'm gonna have to eat tomorrow morning's breakfast kilometers for an early dinner. Don't tell Mum. You know what this means though? The next accommodation is halfway up as place on the pass, which means after 125 k's, I have to climb the pass, which is just poetic.
There she is, 3.1 million switchbacks. Or so it'll feel like with my legs after today.
Ah, this is the biggest rush ever! I'm loving it! You know what I'm gonna say, don't you? Camp closed for renovations. We gotta keep pushing on all the way up the pass and onwards. Get 140 k's done for the day.
This was as close as I could get to capturing the sheer steepness of this climb. I was in the lowest gear, zigzagging, dying.
So I've got to this beautiful place, and unfortunately there's no dinner tonight, but Sandra, the owner, has just come out and said she'll make me a salad. Oh, and then she's just come out and she's got me a hot bowl of courgette soup while she makes me a salad. I'm in heaven. Oh my god, the smell of fresh salad.
The ups and downs of today just really encapsulated why I'm out here doing what I'm doing. You gotta love it.
What makes you happy?
Nature.
And if you had a message to the world, what would it be?
Take chances and live it.
Biggest shout out to Sandra and Nami Friends. I'm now rocking their hat until the very end, but it was time for a very big milestone that I'd been working towards.
After more than 1,500 kilometers and 11,000 meters climbed, we have made it to the Tropic of Capricorn.
And as if on cue, this couple popped out of the bushes and presented me with a bottle of wine in celebration.
Cheers to that. Gracias. That's beautiful.
In perfect alignment, my good friends Oscar and Ricky had come out to meet me for a sunset braai.
How's it, my boy? Hello, baby. You okay?
Wonderful folks at Isabis invited us around their table like we were family. Another unforgettable act of generosity in Namibia. And after days of isolation and minimal contact, being able to laugh with friends under the stars by the fire reminded me of what's important in life and where my priorities lie.